I want you to understand something profound today, something that goes far beyond the surface teachings of life. There is a power within you right now, waiting to be awakened. It is not somewhere out there in the world, not hidden in a secret book, not locked away by destiny. It's in your own mind. The moment you become conscious of this truth, you become the creator of your reality. I will activate your mind until you manifest anything, because once this seed takes root in you, your entire world must change to reflect it. Think for a moment about the desires you hold, the secret longings of your heart that perhaps you've told no one. They seem so personal, yet they are universal. They are whispers from a deeper part of you, urging you to claim what is already yours by right of consciousness. If you can imagine it clearly, if you can feel it as already true, you give it life, you breathe existence into the unseen. And this is no idle fantasy. This is the law of your being. I invite you now to look away from the evidence of your senses, to stop measuring your future by your current circumstances. Your senses report a picture based on your past assumptions, but you are not bound to continue creating from yesterday's patterns. Right now, in this very instant, you can assume a new state. You can rise in consciousness to occupy the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is how your mind gets activated, how the power within you stirs and reshapes everything around you. It does not matter how impossible your dream may appear. What matters is that you persist in the assumption that it is already yours. Live from the end. Dwell in the reality of the wish fulfilled, and let the outer world rearrange itself. It will, because your world is yourself pushed out. It must mirror the arrangement of your inner conversations, your inner feeling, your inner certainty. So I say to you, dare to claim it, dare to think from it. Do not wait for outer confirmation. Be the confirmation in your imagination. Carry the feeling with you throughout your day like a precious secret. And when doubts arise, as they surely will, gently return to your inner vision, to the knowing that it is already done. This is how you activate your mind. This is how you set the law in motion, until what was once only imagined becomes as tangible as the ground beneath your feet. The power to create your reality is already within you. This truth is so astonishingly simple that most people overlook it, searching everywhere else for answers, hoping that some external force or circumstance will shift to give them what they desire. Yet the entire secret rests quietly in your own consciousness, waiting for you to recognize it. Right now, whether you are aware of it or not, you are using this power. Every moment you are imagining, feeling, and believing, and by doing so you are shaping the conditions of your life. It does not matter if you think you're merely a passive observer, for by accepting appearances and reacting emotionally to them, you're still creating more of the same. Most people go through life unconsciously, letting their thoughts drift wherever circumstances push them. They look at their bank account, their relationships, their health, and they say, "This is reality. This is what is true." In doing so, they give all their creative power away to appearances, not realizing these appearances are only the outpicturing of past thoughts and feelings. They are shadows, effects, never causes. The cause lies within, in the silent conversations of your mind, in the moods you allow to dominate, in the inner scenes you replay when no one is watching. That is where your true life is lived, and from there everything else flows. To grasp this is to be given the key to the kingdom. Imagine someone who has long been locked outside a magnificent house, peering through the windows, hoping that someone inside will invite them in. Day after day they wait, knocking, pleading, waiting for the door to swing open. Then one day they realize the key was in their pocket all along. That is how it is with you. You hold the key in your mind. The creative power is not something you must earn or struggle to attain. It is already yours by your very nature. You are consciousness itself, and consciousness is always creating. Begin to see yourself as the operant power, the one who decides what thoughts are entertained, what feelings are permitted to take root. You are not at the mercy of what others say or do, nor are you bound by the story of your past. Each day you have the opportunity to direct this immense inner power toward the vision of life you truly desire. By accepting the idea that you are the source, that your awareness of being is God in action, you stop looking outside for permission or rescue. You turn inward to the only place where anything of real consequence happens. This realization can be startling at first, It strips away excuses. It dismantles the comfortable position of blaming circumstances, luck, or other people. It places full responsibility and full creative authority in your hands. But with this comes a joy beyond description. For you are no longer subject to the whims of chance. You discover that you can choose what you will think, what you will feel, what you will persist in imagining, and that by doing so you set into motion forces that will arrange your world accordingly. Consider the way you think about yourself. Your self-concept is like the mold into which your life is poured. If you habitually think of yourself as unlucky, unloved, struggling, or small, then life can only mirror that back to you. Your outer world will faithfully reproduce your inner assumptions, no matter how hidden or subtle they may be. But once you awaken to your power, you can begin to revise these beliefs. You can claim, I am blessed, I am loved, I am prosperous, I am whole, and dwell in these new conceptions until they harden into fact. There is no power outside of your own consciousness that is orchestrating events independently of your inner state. Everything you encounter is drawn into your experience by the nature of your own being. This is why two people can walk through the same city and live entirely different realities. One may see beauty, opportunity, kindness everywhere, while the other sees hostility, lack, and disappointment. Poet, the difference is not in the external world, but in the inner eye with which they behold it. This is how powerful you are. Change your inner talking, your inner expectations, and watch the outer world shift to reflect your new convictions. It's essential to recognize that this power works impersonally. It does not respond to pleading or desperation. It responds to what you accept as true. This is why worry and fear are such dangerous misuses of imagination. When you worry, you are mentally rehearsing what you do not wish to experience. When you fear, you give life to the very scenarios you dread. But once you understand your power, you become far more selective about the seeds you plant in the garden of your mind. You choose thoughts that align with the life you wish to see bloom. And it is not by willpower or frantic effort that this is done. It is by quiet, deliberate assumption. You simply accept inwardly that your desire is already yours. You let it be so in your imagination. You feel the joy and relief of it as if it were a present fact. In this state of inward conviction, your mind is activated in the highest sense. You become a conscious creator, directing the flow of your own life. What is most beautiful is that you don't need anyone's permission to begin. Right now, as you listen to these words, you can close your eyes and imagine yourself being the person you wish to be, having the things you long for, living the life that feels most aligned with your heart. And by doing so, you have already started to move toward its fulfillment. Your outer world must reorganize itself to mirror this new inner arrangement, for that is the unchanging law. The power to create your reality is not reserved for the special, the talented, or the chosen few. It belongs equally to all, because it is simply the nature of consciousness itself. It is your inheritance, your silent partner, always working, always bringing forth a harvest that matches your most dominant inner state. Once you see this, you can never again see yourself as powerless. You hold within you the very creative force that shapes worlds, and by directing it wisely, you discover that nothing is truly out of reach. Ignore present circumstances and live from the end. This is perhaps one of the most challenging truths for the human mind to grasp, and yet it is also the most liberating. For so long we have been conditioned to believe that what we see with our physical eyes is the ultimate reality. We trust our senses completely. We let them dictate what is possible, what is likely, and what is out of reach. We look at our bank statements, our current health reports, our relationships, our surroundings, and we say, this is who I am, this is my life. But this is only the echo of past thoughts and feelings, a mirror reflecting back to us the sum total of our prior inner states. To continue allowing the present circumstances to define your future is to stay caught in a loop, endlessly recreating the same patterns, the same limitations, the same disappointments. The secret lies in breaking that cycle by refusing to accept your current outer world as the final truth. It is only a temporary manifestation, a fading snapshot of what you once assumed and felt to be true. The real causative power lies within your imagination and your persistent inner assumptions. When you ignore the evidence of your senses, and instead choose to dwell in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are sowing new seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious. These seeds, tended with your continued attention and emotional acceptance, must grow into the circumstances that match them. Living from the end means you embody the state of already having what you desire. You no longer hope for it as something distant, something uncertain. You take possession of it inwardly, claiming it as your present reality. You walk in the psychological atmosphere of the answered prayer. If you desire wealth, you no longer entertain thoughts of lack. You feel the relief and security of already being abundantly supplied. If you desire love, you no longer dwell in loneliness or rejection. You carry yourself as someone deeply cherished, appreciated and wanted. This is not pretending in the childish sense. It is a profound act of faith, an inner knowing that what you accept as true within must find expression without. Most people live by sight, reacting to what is before them, letting every small fact dictate their mood and expectation. If they see signs of delay, they become anxious. If they see evidence contrary to their desire, they slip into doubt and defeat. And so their circumstances harden, more and more reflecting that anxiety and doubt. But the one who understands this creative principle does not waver. They know that outer appearances are forever secondary. What truly matters is the unseen, the invisible reality constructed in imagination. This inner world is causative, and the outer world is its obedient servant. Tarmoga. You may wonder how you can possibly ignore circumstances when they press so strongly upon you. The bills are due, the diagnosis is printed on the paper, the person you love has walked away. But to give these things your emotional acceptance is to give them renewed power. By withdrawing your attention from them and placing it instead on your imagined end, seeing yourself living in the joy of your fulfilled desire, you set the creative process in motion to bring it about. You are not denying that current facts exist. You are simply refusing to accept them as the limit of your future. You are planting new seeds, confident that the old harvest will fade and the new one will come forth. This is why it is so important to construct vivid inner scenes that imply your wish is already accomplished. You make them as lifelike as possible, engaging all your senses, feeling the emotions you would naturally feel if this were already your reality. You do not merely see it like watching a movie on a distant screen. You participate in it. Touch it, taste it. Hear the voices congratulating you. Sense the environment around you. You soak yourself in this state until it feels natural, until it feels like coming home. And then throughout your waking hours, you carry this inner conviction quietly with you. When doubts arise, as they surely will, you gently return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You refuse to argue with appearances. You simply persist in your new assumption, knowing that the unseen is more real than the seen. For it is the unseen that gives birth to the seen. This is not a one-time effort, but a way of life, a constant choosing to dwell mentally in the end result rather than the current conditions. Reliving from the end transforms your reactions. You begin to respond to the world, not as someone hoping to receive, but as someone who already possesses. There is a calm confidence, an ease, a naturalness. You stop chasing, striving, or begging. You no longer wonder if it will happen or when, for in your inner world it is already so. And because you have accepted it as true, the outer must eventually conform. It is love. Consider how a person would feel who had already received their heart's desire. There would be relief, gratitude, perhaps even quiet satisfaction. There would be an absence of tension. This is the state you cultivate. You practice entering into that feeling even when nothing has changed outwardly. And remarkably, the outer world begins to shift. People show up, opportunities arise, circumstances rearrange themselves in ways you could not have logically planned. This is the bridge of incidents, the natural unfolding of events that leads you to the physical manifestation of what you have already accepted inwardly. It is important to remember that you are not manipulating external events directly. You are changing your state of consciousness, and by law, the outer must reflect that change. You don't need to know how it will happen or through whom. You don't need to force or scheme. You simply maintain your inner alignment, trusting that the same power that created the world is moving through you to bring your desire into form. This is the great secret of living from the end. It liberates you from worry and strain because you know the work is already accomplished in the invisible. Even when old patterns or contrary evidence appear, you remain steadfast. You do not allow temporary appearances to shake your conviction. You smile inwardly, recognizing these are merely remnants of past assumptions playing out, soon to dissolve. Your loyalty is to your inner vision, to the state of being that already has what it desires. By consistently ignoring the current facts and mentally residing in the end, you exercise the highest creative power. You honor the truth that consciousness is the only reality and that what you accept and feel within must outpicture itself. Thus you become a master of circumstances, no longer driven by them but quietly and joyfully directing them by the sovereign act of assumption. Persist in your assumption no matter what. This single directive contains the very heart of transformation, the golden thread that runs through every true teaching on the creative power of the mind. It is not enough to merely wish for something or to daydream about it once in a fleeting moment of inspiration. The real power lies in your sustained mental state, in your ability to remain faithful to the unseen reality you have chosen, despite all appearances that might contradict it. This persistence is not born out of strain or force. It is a quiet, steadfast inner knowing that what you have imagined and accepted as true must, by law, take shape in your world. Most people falter because they allow themselves to be swayed by the evidence of their senses. They imagine for a short time, perhaps they feel a spark of joy, but then they look around and see nothing has changed. Doubt creeps in. They begin to entertain thoughts like, maybe this doesn't work for me. Maybe it's taking too long. Maybe I'm not doing it right. In that moment, they have abandoned their assumption and returned to the old state of being, the old story that has kept them trapped. They unknowingly plant conflicting seeds, canceling out the harvest they began to nurture. To persist means to refuse to be moved by these doubts. It means you stand firm in the conviction that what you have accepted in your imagination is already a fact, regardless of how long it seems to take or how improbable it appears to others. Imagine a gardener who plants seeds in rich soil. He does not return the next day and dig them up because he sees no sprout. He does not panic when the earth looks just as it did before. He trusts the unseen process, knowing that in the dark, silent depths, life is stirring. The same principle holds true for you. Once you have planted the seed of your desire in your imagination, once you have felt it real and accepted it as your current reality, your work is to nurture it with your faithful attention. You water it by returning again and again to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, especially when appearances seem unchanged. Persistence is an act of love. It says to your desire, I believe in you. I trust that you are already mine. I do not need to see you with my outer eyes to know that you are real. This unwavering inner loyalty creates a powerful magnetic pull, drawing all the necessary conditions, people, and events into alignment. The universe reshuffles itself to make way for your new assumption. It must, because consciousness is the only cause and your world is forever reflecting your dominant state of being. To persist does not mean you never have moments of doubt. It means that when they come, and they will, you gently turn away from them and return to your chosen reality. You do not fight or wrestle with negative thoughts. You simply do not dwell there. You redirect your attention like a loving parent guiding a child back to the safe path. Each time you do this, you strengthen the neural pathways in your brain, making your new state of consciousness more natural and automatic. Over time, it becomes your dwelling place, the mental home from which you live, and not just a place you visit occasionally. Persistence also means learning to be at peace with divine timing. The oak does not appear the day after the acorn is planted. There are seasons and unseen movements at work that your rational mind cannot always grasp. If you judge by the calendar or by the immediate evidence, you may grow impatient and abandon your assumption. But by remaining inwardly loyal to the feeling of already having your desire, you demonstrate trust in the higher intelligence that orchestrates all things perfectly. Often it is precisely in those moments when it seems nothing is happening that the most profound shifts are occurring beneath the surface. Do not confuse persistence with effort. Effort strains, tries to force results, grows anxious and fatigued. True persistence is serene. It is the calm, confident inner stance that knows, because I have accepted this in my imagination, it must come to pass. I have moved in consciousness, and therefore my world must move to match me. This kind of quiet certainty is infinitely more powerful than hours of anxious striving. It is the knowing that creation is finished the moment you accept it mentally, and all that remains is its unfoldment in time. Persistence becomes a joyful practice when you realize you are not waiting for something outside yourself to decide your fate. You are simply allowing what you have already claimed within to blossom into visibility. Each day you may find small evidences, little winks from the universe that confirm your inner shift. A chance meeting, a sudden idea, an unexpected opportunity. Welcome these with gratitude, but do not cling to them as if your success depends on them. They are just part of the bridge of incidents, leading you naturally to the full expression of your desire. You will discover that persistence changes you. It shapes your character, refines your patience, deepens your faith. It teaches you to live by the invisible rather than the visible, to trust the unseen currents of life more than the transient waves on the surface. In this way, your mind becomes anchored in a state of calm power, no longer buffeted by every external condition. You walk with an inner poise, a quiet delight, knowing that what you have imagined is already yours in the unseen, and therefore must become yours in the seen. To persist is to fall in love with your desired state, to visit it so often in imagination that it becomes more familiar to you than your former reality. You think from it, feel from it, respond to life from it, until the line between the inner and outer dissolves completely. What began as an act of imagination becomes embodied, felt as natural and inevitable. And then the outer world, in its faithful obedience, reshapes itself to mirror your new self-conception. The secret is that this persistence is not a burden but a privilege. It is the joyous exercise of your divine creative power. It is the daily reminder that you are the operant power in your world, that nothing external has authority over your state of being unless you give it. Each moment you choose to return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you reclaim your sovereignty. You reinforce the inner mold from which your future will be cast. Thus, through persistence, the invisible becomes visible. The dream steps out of the shadows and stands radiant before you, no longer a hope but a living reality. Your outer world reflects your inner state. This is a truth so profound that it holds the key to everything you experience in life, yet it is often the most overlooked. People spend their days trying to change the world around them, working tirelessly to adjust circumstances, to persuade others, to manipulate outer events, never realizing that all these efforts are like trying to rearrange the images on a movie screen when the real picture comes from the film running through the projector. The projector is your mind, and the film is made up of your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Until you change that, the picture on the screen of your life remains largely the same, perhaps with minor edits, but fundamentally unaltered. What you hold persistently in your consciousness will show itself in your external world, for your external world is nothing more than a mirror. This mirror does not judge or question, it simply reflects. If you carry within you feelings of inadequacy, beliefs in lack, fears of rejection, these will appear outwardly as experiences and conditions that validate your inner conviction. You might meet people who treat you poorly, find yourself repeatedly short on money, or face endless setbacks. It is not because life is unfair, nor because you are somehow cursed. It is simply law operating with perfect precision. Your outer world must match your inner world. The beauty of this truth is that once you truly grasp it, you no longer live at the mercy of appearances. You understand that to change what is out there, you need only revise what is in here. Your mind becomes the workshop of creation, the sacred place where your future takes shape. Instead of fighting shadows on the wall, you go to the source of the light and adjust the image at its origin. You learn to cultivate thoughts and feelings that are in harmony with the life you wish to live, knowing that the outer must eventually reflect this new pattern. Imagine for a moment someone who constantly dwells in thoughts of health, vitality, and joy. Their predominant mental diet is one of gratitude for their body, appreciation for life, and expectation of well-being. Over time, these inner states manifest as radiant health, energy, and even physical expressions of youthfulness. Now consider another person who habitually entertains thoughts of illness worry over symptoms, fear of decline. Even if they follow every external rule for health, their inner fixation on disease may express itself despite their efforts, because the body is simply following the blueprint given to it by the mind. This principle is not confined to health. It applies to relationships, finances, career, every facet of life. If you see yourself as unworthy of love, or as someone who must always struggle for approval, you will attract partners and circumstances that echo that belief. If you hold an inner conviction of prosperity and ease, the outer world responds with opportunities, support, and resources that align with that feeling. The law is consistent and impartial. It does not give you what you want simply because you long for it. It gives you what you inwardly accept as true. This is why so many people find themselves caught in cycles they can't seem to break. They believe change must happen from the outside in. If only someone else would behave differently, if only the economy would improve, if only they could relocate. They do not realize they carry the same consciousness wherever they go. A change of place or people does nothing if the internal state remains unchanged, for the outer world will always arrange itself to mirror the dominant vibrations of your mind. When you become aware of this, you take back tremendous power. You begin to see every outer event not as an isolated accident, but as an effect. You stop blaming and instead look within. What am I thinking, feeling, assuming that has outpictured as this? This is not about guilt or self-reproach. It is about awakening to the profound responsibility and privilege of shaping your life from the inside out. To truly use this power, you must become deeply honest with yourself. It requires observing your habitual thoughts and emotional reactions without flinching. Notice how quickly you may slip into doubt or fear when faced with a challenge. Notice the stories you tell yourself about what is possible or likely for you. These inner narratives run constantly, often below the surface of conscious awareness, yet they dictate so much of what unfolds in your world. Changing them is not a matter of superficial positive thinking. It means impressing new ideas so deeply upon your subconscious that they become your natural way of seeing yourself and life. You do this through repetition, vivid imagination, and most importantly, feeling. When you feel something to be true, your subconscious accepts it, and your world must follow suit. Let's say you desire greater financial abundance. If you continue to harbor feelings of lack, fear about bills, or resentment toward money, you are planting seeds that will inevitably bear fruit in your outer conditions. But if you begin to dwell in the feeling of already being prosperous, appreciating the money that does flow to you, imagining with gratitude all the ways abundance shows up, your inner state shifts. The outer mirror must then reflect this change. Unexpected opportunities arise. Needs are met in surprising ways, and what once seemed blocked begins to flow. Likewise in relationships, if you carry an inner state of self-love, worthiness and joy, the people you meet and the experiences you have will mirror that inner acceptance. You will find yourself drawn to those who honor and cherish you, because your own inner dialogue has made such treatment natural and expected. The law does not discriminate, it simply organizes itself around the image held persistently in your mind. This is why inner work is the most important work you will ever do. By tending to your mental garden, by uprooting old weeds of doubt and planting new seeds of faith, love, abundance, and health, you ensure that your outer life blossoms in a way that delights and surprises you. You move through the world not trying to force or manipulate outcomes, but knowing that your inner state is creating the circumstances ahead of you. In quiet moments, reflect on the truth that your life right now is a perfect reflection of your most dominant assumptions. This is not cause for discouragement, but a profound invitation. It means nothing is set in stone. Everything can be changed by a change in consciousness. As you shift within, your world must respond, for it has no choice. It is bound by the law to reflect the image you hold of yourself and life. This realization brings a deep sense of peace. You no longer fear the future, for you know you are shaping it with every thought and feeling you entertain. You step into the role of conscious creator, delighting in the process of inward transformation, and watch with wonder as the outer world adjusts itself to match your new inner state. In this way, life becomes a glorious mirror, faithfully and beautifully reflecting back to you the story you tell within. Imagination fused with feeling is the creative act. This is the great mystery hidden in plain sight. overlooked by most because it appears too simple, too effortless compared to the hard striving that the world glorifies. Yet this is where the real work of creation takes place, not in sweating or struggling to manipulate outer conditions, but in the inner realm where you dare to imagine boldly and feel deeply that what you desire is already yours. When you understand this, you unlock the true secret of manifestation. It is never enough to merely think a thought or recite affirmations like hollow words. It is when thought becomes clothed with emotion, when your mind's pictures become alive with feeling, that you impress your subconscious and set the wheels of creation into motion. Your imagination is the workshop of God within you. It is the very faculty by which all things come into being. Every invention, every piece of music, every building that stands in a city began first as an image in someone's mind. It was felt so vividly and consistently that it moved from the invisible realm into the tangible world. Your desires are no different. They come to you not as random fancies, but as seeds planted by a deeper part of you, beckoning you to give them life. By using your imagination deliberately and infusing it with the emotion of fulfillment, you nurture these seeds and bring them to harvest. Feeling is the secret ingredient. A dry, mechanical repetition of thoughts does little to change the subconscious. The subconscious does not respond to mere words. It responds to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Emotion is the language it understands. When you imagine vividly and allow yourself to feel as though your desire is already accomplished, your subconscious accepts this new state as fact. It begins to reorganize everything, your body, your circumstances, the people you meet, the events that unfold, to reflect this inner conviction. Think of how easily this principle works in the negative. How many times have you worried intensely about something, imagined the worst, felt the fear in your body, only to see your fears play out in ways that seemed almost uncanny? You were using the same creative power but unknowingly to bring about what you did not want. This alone should convince you how powerful imagination coupled with feeling truly is. If you can create undesirable conditions through anxious imagery and emotion, how much more could you create beauty, abundance, health, and love by using the same power consciously and joyfully? To practice this, you must learn to turn away from the facts of life as they are and dwell instead in the world of your fulfilled desire. Close your eyes and construct a scene that implies your wish is already realized. See it clearly in your mind's eye, hear the sounds, notice the details that make it vivid and real to you. Most importantly, enter into the scene and feel what you would feel if this were actually happening now. If your desire is to be happily married, imagine holding your partner's hand. Feel the warmth and love. Hear their laughter. If it is wealth you seek, imagine the satisfaction of paying for something effortlessly, or opening a bank statement that confirms your prosperity. Let it be more than a fleeting image. Lose yourself in it until it feels natural. Your heart should respond. There should be a gentle thrill, a sense of relief or joy that bubbles up. That is the signal that you have moved beyond mere thought into the realm of feeling. Now you have impressed the subconscious. Now you have set creation into motion. This feelinged imagination is the cause. The outer world is only the effect. Many people ask how often they should do this. The answer is simple: persist until it feels real, and then return to it whenever doubts creep in or whenever it brings you joy to dwell there. It is not about frequency as much as intensity and sincerity. One deeply felt session of imaginative absorption can do more than 100 shallow repetitions. It is the quality of the feeling that matters, for feeling is the lifeblood of creation. Understand too that this practice does not stop when you open your eyes. Throughout your day, you continue to carry the inner conviction that your desire is already yours. You walk, speak, and react from this new state of being. You might not even consciously think of it at every moment, but there is an undercurrent of certainty, a quiet expectancy that colors everything you do. This is what keeps the seed alive, watering it with your continued acceptance. You do not need to know how your desire will manifest. That is not your work. Your work is to clearly define what you want, enter into the feeling of already having it, and remain faithful to that state. The ways and means, the channels and people who will be involved, all that is orchestrated by a wisdom far beyond the rational mind. When you imagine with feeling, you hand over the blueprint to this deeper intelligence, which then arranges the details in ways often so natural and effortless that they appear to be coincidence. This is why those who master this principle often seem so calm. They are not frantically chasing after their desires. They have already received them in consciousness, and they trust the law to bring them forth. They may be active in the world, taking steps as they feel led, but they do so without strain, knowing that the inner creation is already complete. There is a beautiful subtlety to how life responds. Sometimes your desire comes through a clear, direct channel. Other times through unexpected doors that you could never have planned. Often there are gentle shifts in your attitudes or circumstances that prepare the way. Small pieces moving into place until suddenly what you imagined stands before you. So naturally that you almost forget how much you once longed for it. You may look back and realize how perfectly each step unfolded, how precisely it all aligned, guided by the feelinged images you once held in your mind. By understanding that imagination fused with feeling is the creative act, you step into your rightful place as the artist of your life. You are no longer a passive spectator, hoping circumstances will be kind. You become the deliberate architect, choosing the scenes you will dwell upon. Knowing that life must mirror these inner pictures, you gain an extraordinary freedom, for you realize that nothing on the outside has the power to dictate your future unless you give it that authority through your attention and feeling. With this, you hold the true secret of creation: to imagine richly, to feel deeply, and to trust completely that what is felt as true inwardly will express itself outwardly in the most perfect way and at the most perfect time. Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to awaken to a profound truth. Your wish is your command. Life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. You are the creator, the architect, and the sovereign ruler of your reality. Every desire you hold within your heart is not a random longing. It is a divine impulse, a whisper from the infinite urging you to expand and grow. What you wish for, you can have, for you are endowed with the most powerful gift, the ability to imagine. Your imagination is not just a fleeting daydream or a place of escape. It is the workshop of creation. What you imagine, deeply feel, and believe with unwavering conviction will manifest in your world. The key is this: assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Close your eyes and ask yourself, how would I feel if my wish were a reality now? Dwell in that feeling. Walk in the world as though your desire is already yours. Belief is the soil in which your desires grow. If you believe in limitations, you will see them everywhere. But if you believe in infinite possibilities, life will show you miracles. Circumstances do not define you, they respond to you. Change your inner world, and your outer world will transform. Understand this: your current situation is only the reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If you wish to change it, you must start within. The present moment is your creative power. It is the now that holds the key to the future you wish to build. Feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as though your wish is already fulfilled. Emotion is the energy that fuels your creations. Fear and doubt may whisper in your ear, but they are shadows with no real power. Replace them with faith, and watch your life bloom. Persistence is your ally. Hold to the vision of your fulfilled wish, even when the physical world appears unchanged. Know that the unseen forces are working tirelessly on your behalf. Reality bends to the will of the one who dares to believe. Trust in the unseen. The moment you plant the seed of your desire, it begins to grow, even if you cannot yet see the sprout. Have faith in the process, for the universe always delivers what aligns with your state of being. Imagination is not a trivial escape or a fleeting indulgence, it is the very core of creation. Every structure, invention, or movement that has ever graced this world existed first in the mind of someone who dared to imagine it. It is through imagination that the unseen becomes visible, the intangible becomes tangible, and dreams are transformed into reality. You hold within you the same power to create, and it begins with the ability to see beyond what is and envision what could be. Your imagination is the bridge between your current circumstances and your desired reality. The world you see around you is a mirror reflecting the contents of your inner world. If you wish to change the external, you must first revise the internal. What you imagine with focus and conviction serves as a blueprint for your life. The clearer and more vivid the picture in your mind, the stronger its influence on your reality. Imagination is not limited by logic, time, or physical constraints. It operates beyond those boundaries, offering infinite possibilities. When you engage your imagination with purpose, you tap into a powerful creative force that aligns your mind, emotions, and energy with the outcome you desire. This is not a passive act, but a deliberate choice to occupy a new state of being. To imagine effectively, you must step into the reality of your wish fulfilled. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what would I see? What would I hear? How would I feel if my dream were already realized? Allow yourself to dwell fully in that experience. Feel the joy, satisfaction, and peace of having what you desire, as if it is already yours. Science has shown that the mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and one that occurs in the physical world. When you imagine with clarity and feeling, your brain and body respond as though the event is happening now. This creates a powerful state of alignment, sending signals to the universe that attract circumstances, people, and events that match your vision. What you hold in your imagination begins to materialize, often in ways you could not have predicted. Imagination works best when it is practiced with consistency and conviction. It is not enough to imagine your desires sporadically or without belief. Daily practice of intentional imagination builds momentum. Revisit your vision as often as possible, refining it with greater detail and experiencing it with heightened emotion. Each time you do, you anchor yourself more firmly in the reality you wish to create. Obstacles and doubts may arise, but they are not indicators of failure. They are simply reflections of old beliefs that no longer serve you. The key is to persist in your imagination, regardless of what the outer world shows you. Do not allow the evidence of the senses to dictate your inner state. Circumstances are temporary and will inevitably conform to the dominant picture held in your imagination. Persist, and you will see the transformation unfold. It is important to recognize that imagination is not limited by your past or current conditions. What exists today is only a result of previous thoughts and beliefs. You are free to choose anew at any moment. Imagination is the infinite canvas upon which you can paint any reality you desire. The only limitation is the one you impose through doubt or lack of vision. Your imagination is a sacred tool, a direct connection to the creative force that governs all existence. To use it wisely, you must imagine not from a place of lack, but from a place of fulfillment. When you imagine your desires already complete, you shift your energy into the state of having, which draws the experience to you like a magnet. It is not about wishing or hoping, it is about knowing and feeling that it is done. Imagination is not bound by time. The moment you vividly imagine a future event, you create it in the now. Time is merely the unfolding of what you have already conceived in your mind. Trust this process and allow it to unfold naturally. There is no need to force or manipulate. Your only task is to remain faithful to your vision and persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Imagination is the gateway to your higher self and your highest potential. It is through imagination that you access the limitless possibilities of creation and realize the truth of your own power. Use it boldly, and you will find that the world bends to your vision, for imagination infused with belief always manifests. Desire is not a mere whim or passing fancy, it is a sacred calling from the depths of your being. Every genuine desire that arises within you is a seed planted by the divine, urging you toward growth, expansion, and fulfillment. It is a signal that there is more to experience, more to become, and more to create. Desires are not random, they are purposeful and unique to each individual, tailored to guide you along the path that is uniquely yours. When a desire arises, it is already yours in spirit. The fact that you feel its pull is evidence that it exists as a possibility within the infinite realm of creation. The divine does not give you a longing without also providing the means for its fulfillment. Your role is to recognize the desire as an affirmation of your potential and to step into the reality where it is already realized. Desire is the language of the divine speaking through you. It is an inner nudge, a whisper that reminds you of your power to create an experience. When you align with a desire, you are not asking for something outside of yourself, you are claiming what is already inherently yours. The longing you feel is simply a call to align your thoughts, emotions, and imagination with the state of having. Too often, people suppress their desires, labeling them as selfish, impractical, or unattainable. Yet to deny your desires is to deny the divine energy within you that seeks expression. Each desire is a gift, an invitation to become more of who you truly are. Embracing your desires with faith and gratitude is an act of honoring the divine plan for your life. The moment you acknowledge a desire, it begins to unfold. This is because desire is not separate from its fulfillment. They are two sides of the same coin. The seed contains within it the blueprint for the tree. Likewise, your desire carries within it all the elements necessary for its realization. Trusting in this process means allowing the divine intelligence to guide you, knowing that the path will reveal itself as you persist in your faith. Desire also serves as a catalyst for transformation. It propels you to expand beyond your current limitations and step into a higher version of yourself. Every time you pursue a desire with belief and commitment, you grow in awareness, creativity, and resilience. The journey toward fulfillment is as much a part of the divine plan as the manifestation itself. To truly trust in your desires, you must release the notion of struggle and scarcity. What you wish for is not something you must chase or force into existence. It is already aligned with you on a spiritual level. Your task is simply to remain attuned to the feeling of fulfillment, letting your faith bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen. Desire, when embraced as divine inspiration, becomes the driving force that shapes your life into a masterpiece. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the cornerstone of conscious creation. It is the act of stepping into the state where your desire is not something distant or unattainable, but a present reality. This is not a mere mental exercise, but a deep, emotional alignment with the outcome you wish to experience. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you become the person who already possesses it, and your external world begins to mirror that inner state. Living in the state of fulfillment requires you to go beyond hope and desire. Hope implies that the object of your wish is in the future, while assumption anchors it in the now. To assume fulfillment is to bypass all evidence of the senses and dwell fully in the reality of your desire achieved. It is to close your eyes and feel the joy, satisfaction, and relief as though your wish is already a fact. The power of assumption lies in its ability to transform your vibration. Your thoughts, emotions, and energy align with the state of having, which naturally attracts circumstances, opportunities, and people that resonate with that frequency. This alignment is not a forceful act, but a gentle surrender to the truth that what you desire is already yours in spirit. Imagination plays a vital role in assuming fulfillment. When you imagine your wish is fulfilled, you construct a vivid mental scene that reflects your desired reality. This scene becomes your anchor. Revisit it often, allowing it to feel more real with each repetition. Engage all your senses, see the details, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions of that moment. The more you immerse yourself in this mental reality, the more it impresses upon your subconscious mind as truth. Assumption also requires persistence. The outer world may initially appear unchanged, but this is not a reflection of failure. It is a lag in time as your inner state begins to solidify into physical form. Do not waver in your conviction. Continue to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of external appearances. Reality must eventually conform to the dominant state within you. Doubt and fear are natural challenges on this journey, but they hold no real power unless you give them attention. When these feelings arise, gently redirect your focus back to your imagined reality. Remind yourself that the inner world is the only true reality, and it is from this space that all creation flows. Faith in your assumption will dispel fear and bring clarity. The state of having is not simply about thinking positively, it is about embodying the essence of your desire. This embodiment changes how you think, speak, and act. You naturally begin to make choices and take actions that align with your fulfilled state, further reinforcing the reality of your assumption. Ultimately, assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is about stepping into the identity of the person who already has what they desire. This shift in identity is what transforms your reality. You no longer wait for evidence to believe, you believe first and the evidence follows. In this way, assumption becomes the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between imagination and manifestation. Belief is the foundation upon which all creation rests. It is not what you wish for or hope for, but what you truly believe that shapes your reality. Your beliefs act as filters, determining how you perceive the world and what you allow yourself to experience. To change your life, you must first change your beliefs, for they are the unseen forces that direct your reality. The creative power of belief lies in its ability to define what is possible for you. If you believe something is unattainable, it will remain so, no matter how much effort you exert. Conversely, when you believe in the possibility of your desire, you activate the forces necessary for its realization. Belief transforms a mere idea into an inevitability. Your subconscious mind operates entirely on the basis of belief. It accepts as true whatever you repeatedly affirm and feel deeply, regardless of whether it is real or not. The subconscious does not judge or question, it simply reflects back to you the reality that aligns with your dominant beliefs. By deliberately choosing empowering beliefs, you can reshape your life from the inside out. Belief is also the mechanism that bridges imagination and manifestation. What you vividly imagine, when combined with belief, gains the momentum to materialize. Without belief, even the most vivid imagery remains a fleeting thought. Belief energizes your visions and anchors them in your consciousness as possible and achievable. To align your beliefs with your desires, you must first become aware of your existing beliefs. Many of them operate unconsciously, shaped by past experiences, societal influences, or inherited patterns. Once you identify limiting beliefs, you can consciously replace them with new ones that support your desired outcomes. This process requires persistence, as deeply ingrained beliefs may resist change initially. Belief is strengthened through repetition and feeling. By consistently affirming and imagining the truth of your desired state, you impress it upon your subconscious mind. The more vividly and emotionally you engage with your new belief, the more powerfully it takes root. Over time, this new belief becomes second nature, altering your perceptions and actions to align with your desired reality. Faith is a natural extension of belief. It is the unshakable confidence that your desire is already fulfilled, even when there is no external evidence. Faith allows you to hold to your vision without wavering, knowing that the unseen forces of creation are working in your favor. Faith is not blind, it is a deliberate choice to trust in the power of belief. Your beliefs also influence how others in the world respond to you. When you carry a belief with certainty, it radiates outward, shaping your interactions and circumstances. For example, if you believe you are worthy and deserving, you will naturally attract opportunities and people who reflect that worthiness. The world mirrors your beliefs back to you in every encounter. Belief is the catalyst that turns potential into reality. It is not a passive state, but an active force that shapes the trajectory of your life. By aligning your beliefs with the outcomes you desire, you take control of your creative power. Your belief becomes your truth, and your truth becomes your life. The present moment is the only point of power. Reality is not shaped in the past or future. It is created in the now. Every thought, feeling, and belief you hold in this moment contributes to the reality that unfolds before you. The present is the fertile ground where the seeds of your desires are planted, nurtured, and grown into tangible experiences. When you focus on the present moment, you step into alignment with the flow of life. Dwelling on the past keeps you tethered to old patterns, while projecting into the future often creates anxiety or longing. The now is free from these limitations. It is pure, untouched, and brimming with creative potential. By anchoring yourself fully in the present, you open the door to unlimited possibilities. Your consciousness operates most powerfully in the present. It is here that you have the ability to choose your thoughts, adjust your emotions, and align with the state of your desires fulfilled. When you remain present, you are not distracted by external circumstances or the illusion of time. This focus allows you to channel your energy into consciously creating the life you want. The present moment is also where your imagination comes to life. To imagine effectively, you must immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, as though it is happening now. If you place your desire in the future, you will continue to chase it endlessly. Instead, bring your vision into the now by embodying the emotions, thoughts, and actions of someone already living that reality. Living in the present moment also frees you from the weight of resistance. Resistance arises when you focus on what is missing or worry about how your desire will come to pass. By staying present, you detach from these limiting thoughts and trust the natural unfolding of your desire. The present moment is a space of ease where your faith in the process can flourish. Focusing on the now transforms how you experience time. When you remain present, time seems to expand, allowing you to fully engage with each moment. This heightened awareness amplifies your ability to create, as every thought and feeling becomes deliberate and purposeful. You are no longer at the mercy of automatic reactions. Instead, you consciously shape your experience. The present moment is where gratitude takes root. By appreciating what is, even as you envision more, you create a powerful foundation for manifestation. Gratitude anchors you in the now, aligning your energy with abundance rather than lack. When you focus on the blessings of the present, you naturally attract more to be grateful for. The present moment is the gateway to transformation. By fully embracing the now, you reclaim your creative power. You stop waiting for the right time or external conditions to change and realize that everything you need is already within you, accessible in this very moment. Through the present, you bring your desires into being. Emotion is the lifeblood of creation, the energetic force that fuels the manifestation of your desires. It is not enough to merely think about your wish. You must feel it with intensity and sincerity. Your emotions infuse your thoughts with power, turning them from fleeting ideas into magnetic signals that shape your reality. What you feel in this moment determines the experiences you attract. When you feel joy, gratitude, or excitement, you align yourself with the frequency of your desires fulfilled. These emotions create a state of resonance between you and the reality you wish to experience. It is this resonance that draws your desire into physical form. Joy is not just an outcome of manifestation, it is the path to it. By embodying the joy of your wish fulfilled now, you bridge the gap between imagination and reality. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for manifestation. When you feel gratitude for your desire as though it is already realized, you affirm its existence in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from waiting to receiving. It transforms your state of being, aligning you with the flow of creation. Each moment spent in gratitude amplifies the energy of your desire, accelerating its manifestation. The key is to feel as though your desire is already here. Ask yourself, if my wish were fulfilled, how would I feel right now? Immerse yourself in that emotional state. Let the feeling of accomplishment, relief, or love fill your heart and mind. This emotional embodiment becomes the signal you send into the universe, and the universe responds by reflecting it back to you in the form of experiences and opportunities. Negative emotions, such as doubt or frustration, are not obstacles but indicators that your focus has shifted away from your desire. These emotions are valuable feedback, guiding you back to alignment. Rather than suppress or resist them, acknowledge their presence and gently redirect your attention to the feelings you want to cultivate. Your emotional energy is always within your control. Consistency in emotion is crucial. A single moment of joy or gratitude is powerful, but sustained emotional alignment is transformative. Make it a practice to revisit the feeling of your wish fulfilled throughout the day. Anchor yourself in positive emotions by visualizing your desire, affirming its reality, or engaging in activities that uplift your spirit. The more you feel it, the stronger the energy you project. Emotions are not abstract, they are energy in motion. They create ripples in the fabric of reality, influencing the people, circumstances, and events that come into your life. By mastering your emotions, you master the art of creation. Feel deeply, feel consistently, and feel as though your desire is already yours. In doing so, you activate the creative power within you and align with the life you envision. Doubt and fear are illusions that cloud your creative power, keeping you from realizing the truth of your limitless potential. They are not realities but constructs of the mind rooted in past experiences, societal conditioning, and imagined scenarios. These feelings only have power if you accept them as truth. To create the life you desire, you must consciously replace them with faith and certainty. Doubt arises when you question your ability to manifest or when you believe external circumstances hold greater power than your inner world. It creates hesitation, undermining the energy of desire. Doubt is not a reflection of reality, but a lack of trust in the unseen forces at work. The moment you decide to fully trust in your vision, doubt begins to dissolve, and clarity takes its place. Fear is a response to the unknown, an emotional reaction to stepping outside the familiar. It often appears as a warning of potential failure, rejection, or loss. However, fear is merely a projection of imagined outcomes that rarely come to pass. Recognizing fear for what it is, a signal of growth and transformation, allows you to face it with courage rather than retreat from it. The antidote to both doubt and fear is faith. Faith is the inner knowing that what you desire is already yours, even when no physical evidence exists. It is a steadfast trust in the creative process, a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding perfectly. Faith shifts your focus from what could go wrong to the certainty that your desire is inevitable. To replace doubt and fear, you must align your thoughts and emotions with your desired reality. Begin by consciously affirming your belief in your ability to create. Speak and think as though your wish is already fulfilled. Each affirmation strengthens your conviction and weakens the hold of fear and doubt. Over time, your new beliefs become deeply rooted, naturally replacing old patterns. Visualization is a powerful tool for releasing doubt and fear. When you vividly imagine your desire fulfilled, complete with the emotions of joy, gratitude, and satisfaction, you create an inner reality that feels more real than any external uncertainty. This inner experience becomes a refuge, a space where doubt and fear cannot exist because they are overshadowed by the certainty of your vision. Taking inspired action also diminishes fear and doubt. Each small step toward your desire builds momentum, reinforcing your belief in its realization. Action shifts your focus from worry to progress, demonstrating to yourself that you are capable and that your desire is within reach. Confidence grows with every move you make, further reducing space for doubt and fear. Cultivate patience and self-compassion. Doubt and fear are natural emotions, but they do not define you or your ability to create. When they arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently redirect your attention to your vision. Trust the process, knowing that your faith and persistence are enough to bring your desire to fruition. In releasing doubt and fear, you reclaim the full power of your creative energy. Persistence in assumption is the key to manifestation. It is the unwavering commitment to living as though your desire is already fulfilled, regardless of the current external conditions. The power of assumption is not just in briefly imagining your wish realized, but in the consistent and persistent belief in it, despite any contrary evidence. When you persist in the assumption that your wish is already a reality, you create the necessary alignment between your inner state and the external world. The world may appear unchanged, and physical evidence may not immediately reflect your desire, but this is where persistence becomes essential. The outer world reflects your inner beliefs, and it takes time for those beliefs to shape your circumstances. During this time, your job is not to waver, but to trust that the manifestation is already in motion. When you persist, you are essentially training your mind and emotions to maintain the feeling of fulfillment, regardless of how things seem. When doubt creeps in, as it often will, you must remember that persistence in assumption is a choice. Each moment is an opportunity to reaffirm your belief that your desire is already fulfilled. Do not allow temporary setbacks or the absence of physical proof to shake your resolve. The universe is always responding to your inner state, and it is this state, maintained with persistence, that ultimately brings your desire into form. Persisting in the assumption of your wish fulfilled also involves ignoring the how and when. Many people fall into the trap of questioning the process when results are not immediate, but the how and when are not your concern. Your only responsibility is to stay in the state of fulfillment, trusting that the universe will orchestrate the perfect sequence of events. By releasing the need to control the details, you allow room for the creative forces to work in your favor. The more you persist, the stronger the belief becomes. Each time you return to the assumption of fulfillment, it becomes more real to you. Your persistence is an affirmation of your commitment to the creation of your desire, and this builds the mental and emotional momentum necessary for manifestation. As you continue to assume your desire is already fulfilled, your subconscious mind begins to accept it as a fact, and this belief then shapes your reality. Persistence is also a matter of cultivating a mindset that is unwavering in the face of challenge. It's easy to feel discouraged when the outer world does not immediately reflect your inner assumptions. But the persistence you show during this phase is what transforms your desire from a fleeting thought into a solid reality. You must be patient and stay aligned with your assumed state, regardless of temporary external conditions. Persistence in assumption strengthens your connection to your higher self and divine intellect. As you maintain your belief, you align more deeply with the natural flow of creation. This unwavering connection allows you to move with the current of life rather than against it, trusting that the unfolding of your desire is already assured. The more you persist, the clearer the path becomes, and the closer you move to the physical manifestation. The process of persistence in assumption is not a struggle but an act of faith. It is the belief that your desire is not only possible but inevitable. The feeling of fulfillment becomes your dominant emotional state, and this emotional state acts as a magnet, drawing your desire into your experience. In this way, persistence in assumption becomes the driving force that bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen. Your imagination is the most powerful tool at your disposal for creating the life you desire. It is the realm where all things begin, before they take form in the physical world. Imagination allows you to transcend the limitations of your current circumstances and envision a reality that aligns with your deepest desires. While circumstances may appear to define your reality, they are only temporary and malleable to the power of your imagination. When you focus on your imagination, you connect with your true creative potential. Imagination is not bound by time, space, or physical limitations. It operates in the realm of possibility where anything is possible. Your current circumstances, no matter how dire they may seem, hold no power over the reality you can create through the strength of your vision. The external world may present you with challenges, but it is your imagination that dictates your response to them. If you allow your circumstances to define your thinking, you become a prisoner of the present moment, unable to rise above the limitations you see. However, when you use your imagination to focus on the desired outcome, you step into the power of creation. Imagination transforms circumstances by reshaping the way you perceive and respond to them. Circumstances are not fixed, they are fluid and ever-changing. The world around you conforms to your inner state. When you hold a clear, vivid image of your desire fulfilled, you direct the flow of energy in your life. The more you persist in imagining your desired outcome, the more the external conditions shift to reflect your inner vision. What you imagine with faith and certainty must eventually become your reality. Imagination requires no external validation or approval. It is your internal experience, free from the judgments and limitations of others. In your imagination, there are no boundaries. You can live in the state of having your desire now, independent of what the outer world says is possible. This freedom allows you to generate new possibilities, unburdened by the restrictions of your present circumstances. By consistently engaging in imaginative practices, you begin to imprint your desires upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious, like a fertile soil, accepts whatever is planted in it. The more you vividly imagine your wish fulfilled, the more your subconscious adopts it as truth. Once your subconscious mind accepts this new reality, your external world must shift to reflect it. The law of assumption tells us that what you assume to be true becomes true. When you assume the fulfillment of your desire in your imagination, you condition yourself to expect it in reality. Your thoughts, actions, and beliefs align with this assumption, and the world responds in kind. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you cause your circumstances to conform to that state. The more you use your imagination to focus on your desires, the less you are affected by external circumstances. Imagination empowers you to see beyond the surface of things, offering a clear path to the manifestation of your dreams. The key is to continually return to your imagination, regardless of what is happening in the outer world. Your imagination is the greater force, and when you hold to it, circumstances must ultimately shift to support your vision. Faith in the unseen is the cornerstone of manifestation. The process of creation begins before it is visible in the physical world. It starts in the realm of thought, feeling, and belief long before it takes form. Trusting this unseen process requires you to believe in what you cannot yet see or touch. The key is to trust that the moment you have set your desire in motion, it is already moving toward you. Your part is to remain aligned with its fulfillment, regardless of external evidence. The unseen process is always at work, even when there is no immediate sign of it in your reality. Your desire is already on its way, and it is being shaped and molded in the unseen. Just because you cannot see physical proof right away does not mean that your wish is not already on its way to you. The universe works in ways beyond human perception, orchestrating events, people, and circumstances that align with your desire. Faith in the unseen requires patience. There may be moments when doubt arises, and the external world may seem unchanged, but these are simply tests of your belief. The true power lies in maintaining your faith, even when the evidence is not yet visible. It is through persistent belief that the unseen process accelerates, drawing your desire into manifestation. When you trust the unseen, you shift your focus from what is lacking to what is already on its way. The process may be invisible to the human eye, but it is happening nonetheless. As you remain aligned with the fulfillment of your wish, you begin to experience synchronicities, signs, and opportunities that confirm your desire is drawing near. These subtle indicators are proof that the unseen is becoming the seen. Faith in the unseen is rooted in the understanding that the universe operates according to divine laws, which you are always in harmony with. The law of attraction, the law of assumption, and the law of vibration are working constantly, even when you cannot detect their effects immediately. Trusting these laws means trusting that everything you need to manifest your desire is already in motion, even if it has not yet materialized in your experience. The unseen process is like planting a seed. Once you plant a seed in the soil, you trust that it is growing, even though you cannot see its progress beneath the earth. You do not dig it up every day to check its growth. You simply trust that with time it will emerge. In the same way, when you plant the seed of your desire, you trust that it is growing and unfolding. Even if you cannot see it yet, the unseen process, you must maintain a feeling of certainty and gratitude. Feel the gratitude of having your desire fulfilled, even though you cannot yet touch it. This emotional alignment strengthens your faith, allowing you to remain in a state of expectation rather than doubt. When you remain aligned with your wish, you strengthen the unseen forces at work and ensure that your desire will soon be revealed in the physical world. The true power to shape your reality is within you, and it is activated by the alignment of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. You are the creator of your experience, and the ability to manifest your desires lies in your understanding of the creative process. Every desire that you hold in your heart is a seed planted by the divine, and your imagination is the fertile ground that nurtures this seed into being. When you consistently focus on your desire with unwavering belief, your inner state begins to shape the world around you. Your imagination is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, and it is more powerful than any external circumstance. What you imagine with conviction and emotion, what you truly believe, will inevitably manifest. Circumstances may appear to be fixed or challenging, but they are always temporary and malleable, conforming to your inner state. By living in the assumption that your wish is already fulfilled, you begin to influence the world around you, transforming the external reality to reflect the vision you hold within. As doubt and fear arise, remember that they are only illusions, remnants of old conditioning, and they hold no power over you unless you allow them to. Replacing them with faith, certainty, and trust in the process is the key to overcoming resistance and staying aligned with your desire. Faith in the unseen is an act of surrender to the natural laws of creation, knowing that what you have imagined is already on its way to you, even if you cannot yet see it. Your emotions, joy, gratitude, excitement are the fuel that propels your manifestations forward. The more you feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, the more you align with the energy of creation. Emotion is the magnetic force that pulls your desire closer to you. When you live in the emotional state of having your wish fulfilled, you set into motion the creative forces that shape your reality. It is through your persistent belief in the unseen that you continue to attract the experiences and opportunities that align with your vision. To manifest your desires, you must persist in the belief that your wish is already realized regardless of the external world. When you maintain unwavering faith and trust in your ability to create, no setback or lack of physical evidence can deter you from your path. The law of assumption, the power of imagination, and your emotional alignment with your desires work together, creating the life you envision. Remember, the unseen process is always at work. Just as a seed grows underground before it emerges above, your desires are constantly being shaped and brought into form. Your job is to trust that it is unfolding, even when you cannot see it yet. Stay aligned with the feeling of fulfillment. Continue to assume the reality of your wish, and the universe will respond in kind. Your reality is yours to create. As you persist in your imagination, faith, and alignment, your desires will manifest in ways you may not yet fully comprehend, but with absolute certainty. In the end, your wish is not just a future possibility, it is a present reality waiting for you to recognize it. The power to manifest is yours. Through imagination, persistence, faith, and emotional alignment, you shape your world. The universe is always working with you, reflecting the inner state you maintain. The journey is yours to create, and as you persist, your desires will inevitably become your reality. When life seems overwhelming, and the storms of circumstances rage around you, it's easy to feel small and powerless. But you must remind yourself of one unshakable truth: the power within you is greater than anything outside of you. The external world, with all its chaos and turbulence, is merely a reflection of the state of mind you choose to dwell in. And when you understand this, no storm, no obstacle, no challenge can shake you. The storm may seem mighty, but it has no power over you unless you give it power. The same force that created the storm is also the force that calms it. That force lies within you, for you are one with the source of all creation. To face the storm is not to fight against it, but to rise above it, knowing that you are greater than what appears before you. Close your eyes for a moment and remember this: the storm is temporary, but the spirit within you is eternal. What you give attention to, you give life to. If you focus on fear, the storm grows larger. But if you center yourself in faith, the storm diminishes. It is your faith not in something outside of you, but in the divine power within that transforms the seemingly impossible into the possible. The moment you align your inner vision with peace, the chaos outside begins to lose its grip. Speak to your storm with confidence and declare it powerless. Say to yourself, "This too shall pass, for I am the stillness behind all movement. I am the calm that cannot be shaken." When you anchor yourself in this awareness, the storm loses its meaning, for it can no longer dictate your reality. The key is to remain steadfast in your belief. Even when the waves crash high and the winds roar, know that the same creative power that holds the stars in place is guiding you. Trust that there is a purpose behind every trial, and that each storm is an invitation to awaken to your true nature, a nature that is unshaken, limitless, and divine. Let the storm remind you of your strength. Let it remind you of the power you possess to choose your thoughts, your feelings, and your reactions. When you realize that the storm is not against you but for you, it becomes a teacher, not a tormentor. It leads you closer to the understanding that no external force can define who you are or what you are capable of. So stand tall, even in the fiercest winds. Rest in the knowing that the storm will pass, but the strength you gain from it will remain. Declare with absolute certainty, I am more than this moment. I am one with the infinite. I am unshakable. In this realization, you will find the peace that surpasses all understanding. You are bigger than the storm because the power of creation itself is within you. Trust it, believe it, and let the storm be a stepping stone to the greatness that is already yours. When the storms of life come, when the winds blow fiercely and the waves crash against you, it's easy to lose sight of the truth. The external world has a way of shaking us, of pulling us into its chaos. But it's vital to remember that you are not at the mercy of these external forces. You are more than what you see before you. You are more than the troubles that seem to overwhelm you. You are not merely a victim of circumstances, but the very creator of your reality. We live in a world that reflects our inner state. Every situation, every person, every event is a mirror of what's happening within. The key to understanding this is to recognize that your thoughts, your beliefs, your state of mind shape the world around you. The storms you experience are not to be feared, they are but a reflection of an inner conflict, a misalignment between your true self and the thoughts you are holding. But there is good news. You have the power to change the course of the storm. You have the ability to rise above it. This power does not come from battling with the storm, for the moment you focus on fighting it, you give it more energy. Instead, your power comes from stepping into the knowledge that the storm has no power over you unless you believe it does. You are the one who assigns meaning to the storm. You are the one who chooses how to respond. When you stand firm in the knowledge that you are not subject to external forces, when you remember that you are connected to a source of infinite power, you begin to see the storm for what it truly is, a temporary disturbance. It is a passing phase. It is a momentary experience in the grand tapestry of life. And in the grand scheme of things, this storm will fade, and you will remain. Imagine for a moment the vastness of the ocean. Imagine a storm raging on the surface, with waves crashing violently against each other. The ocean seems tumultuous and wild, but beneath the surface it remains calm. Beneath the waves, the water is still untouched by the storm above. This is the truth of who you are. The storm may rage around you, but within you lies a deep and unshakable calm. This calm is always present, always available to you, no matter how intense the storm may seem. You have been given the gift of awareness, the gift of consciousness. And it is through this awareness that you can transform your experience. You are not at the mercy of fate, nor are you a helpless bystander in the unfolding of your life. You are the creator of your experience, the one who has the power to shape your world. The mind is the instrument through which you shape your world. The thoughts you think, the images you hold in your imagination, the words you speak, these are the tools with which you create your reality. When you are caught up in the storm, when you feel as though life is spinning out of control, it's because you have allowed your mind to be consumed by the external world. You have allowed the storm to dictate your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. But this need not be the case. The moment you recognize that you have the power to direct your thoughts, you take back control. You are no longer a passive observer of your circumstances. You are an active participant in the creation of your reality. And when you take control of your mind, you begin to see the storm for what it is, a fleeting, temporary event that holds no real power over you. Think of the mind as a garden. It is fertile ground, capable of producing anything you desire. But just as a garden can be overtaken by weeds, your mind can become cluttered with negative, fearful, and limiting thoughts. If you allow these thoughts to take root, they will grow and multiply, creating a storm of their own. But you have the power to tend to your mind. You can choose the seeds you plant. You can choose to sow thoughts of peace, of calm, of faith, and of confidence. When you do this, you will begin to see the storm around you dissipate. Your thoughts are like magnets, drawing to you the experiences that reflect your inner state. When you focus on the storm, when you give it your attention and energy, you draw more of it into your life. But when you focus on the stillness within, when you align yourself with the truth of who you are, calm, powerful, and unshakable, you begin to attract experiences that reflect this inner peace. The power to transform your life is in your hands. The moment you shift your focus, the moment you align your thoughts with your highest truth, the storm begins to lose its grip on you. You begin to feel lighter, more at ease, more in control. You may still see the storm swirling around you, but it no longer affects you in the same way. It no longer has the power to knock you off balance or to pull you into its chaos. You must recognize that the storm is not the enemy. The storm is simply a reflection of your current state of mind. It is a reminder that you have allowed external circumstances to dictate your inner peace. But this awareness is the key to your transformation. The moment you recognize that the storm is not separate from you, that it is a manifestation of your inner world, you reclaim your power. You can change your thoughts, change your feelings, and thus change your reality. When you shift your thoughts from fear to faith, from doubt to trust, you align yourself with a greater power. This power is not separate from you. It is within you, flowing through you, guiding you, and supporting you. You are never alone. Even in the midst of the storm, you are connected to an infinite source of love, wisdom, and strength. This source is always available to you, always ready to support you, always ready to guide you through the storm. One of the greatest illusions we face is the belief that we are powerless in the face of our circumstances. We often look at the storm as something that is beyond our control, something that is happening to us, rather than something that is simply reflecting our current state of mind. But this illusion begins to dissolve the moment we recognize the truth: we are not the storm. We are the calm beneath it. We are the stillness that cannot be shaken, the unchanging presence that remains constant no matter what is happening on the surface. The storms of life are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to awaken you to the power within you. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you encounter is an opportunity for growth, for transformation, and for deeper awareness. The storm may be uncomfortable, but it is also a teacher. It shows you where you are out of alignment with your true self, and it gives you the opportunity to return to your center. When you face a storm, it is an invitation to reconnect with your inner power. It is an opportunity to let go of fear and embrace faith. It is an invitation to trust that, no matter what happens, you are always supported, always guided, and always loved. The storm cannot touch the essence of who you are. The storm cannot touch the stillness within you. And when you recognize this, you are free. You are the master of your own life. You have the ability to choose your thoughts, to choose your emotions, and to choose your reactions. When you understand this, the storm loses its power. The more you focus on the calm within, the more you align with the truth of who you are, the more the storm fades into the background. It no longer holds the same intensity. It no longer has the ability to disturb your peace. You must trust that everything is unfolding as it should. The storm is not here to destroy you, but to guide you to a deeper understanding of your own power. It is an opportunity to let go of old beliefs, old fears, and old limitations, and to step into a new way of being. You are being guided to a place of greater strength, greater clarity, and greater peace. As you align with your inner power, as you trust in the stillness that resides within you, you begin to realize that the storm was never the issue. The issue was your belief in its power over you. Once you release that belief, once you stop giving it your attention and your energy, the storm begins to lose its hold. It passes, and you are left standing firm, unshaken, and at peace.
Remember, you are the calm in the storm. You are the peace that surpasses all understanding. You are the creator of your reality, and the storms of life have no power over you unless you give them power. Shift your focus, shift your thoughts, and you will see the storm fade away, revealing the beautiful, peaceful life that is always waiting for you. When you are faced with life's storms, it's easy to feel small and powerless. The noise of the wind, the intensity of the rain, the pressure of the waves, they can feel like insurmountable obstacles that threaten to pull you under. It's in these moments that you may question your ability to weather the storm. But I want you to remember something crucial. The storm is never the real problem. The real problem is what you believe about the storm. The storm is simply a reflection of what you are holding in your mind, and more importantly, your ability to shift your focus can completely transform the situation. We often forget the simple truth: we are not at the mercy of the world around us. The world is but a reflection of our inner state. Every experience you have, every person you meet, every circumstance that comes into your life is a direct reflection of the thoughts and beliefs you hold. And if you believe that the storm is too powerful to overcome, if you believe that it is beyond your control, then you are giving that storm the power to rule your life. But it is only when you surrender to this belief, when you forget the truth of who you are, that the storm becomes overwhelming. The moment you shift your focus, however, everything changes. When you stop seeing yourself as a victim of the storm and begin to recognize that you are the creator of your reality, the storm begins to lose its power. It's not that the storm disappears immediately, but your experience of it changes. You no longer see it as a threat. You no longer see it as something that can drown you or destroy you. You see it for what it is: a temporary disturbance, a momentary challenge, one that will pass when you align your thoughts and beliefs with the truth of who you are. This is where the true power lies, not in the world around you, but in the power of your mind to shape your experience. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality, and it is through your thoughts that you give meaning to every experience. When the storm is raging, it is easy to feel overwhelmed by its force, but if you shift your focus to the calm beneath the surface, to the stillness that lies within, the storm loses its grip on you. Imagine for a moment that you are in a boat, drifting on the water. The storm rages around you. The wind howls and the waves crash, but you remain calm. Remember that you are not at the mercy of the storm. You know that beneath the waves, the water is still. You know that the storm is only on the surface, that it cannot touch the depths of the ocean. And in the same way, the storm cannot touch the depths of your soul. No matter how intense the wind or how high the waves, you are anchored in something far deeper and far more powerful than the storm. This deeper power is your inner awareness, your ability to shape and direct your thoughts. It is through this awareness that you begin to see the storm not as an enemy, but as an opportunity. It is an opportunity for growth, for transformation, for awakening. The storm is not here to destroy you, but to reveal the depth of your inner strength. It is not here to break you, but to awaken you to the truth of who you are. In every moment, you are either creating from a place of fear or from a place of faith. If you focus on the storm, if you dwell on the chaos and the uncertainty, you are creating more of the same. Your thoughts are attracting the very circumstances you are afraid of. But when you focus on the calm within, when you focus on your inner peace, you begin to align with the power of creation itself. You align with the infinite source of energy that lies within you and within all things. And when you align with this source, the storm becomes irrelevant. The storm is only as powerful as you allow it to be. When you choose to believe that it is bigger than you, when you choose to see it as something that can defeat you, you give it that power. But when you shift your focus to the truth that you are greater than the storm, when you recognize that you are connected to the power of the universe itself, the storm loses its force. It may still rage around you, but it can no longer affect you in the same way. It no longer has the ability to knock you down, to make you feel small, or to rob you of your peace. When you recognize that you are the creator of your own reality, you begin to see that every storm is merely a reflection of an internal struggle. It is not the storm that is the problem, but the way you are perceiving it. And the moment you change your perception, the storm begins to lose its hold on you. You begin to see it as an opportunity for growth, a moment in time that will pass, just like every other challenge you have faced in your life. The more you recognize your power, the less you will be affected by the storms around you. This power does not come from an external source. It does not come from the circumstances or the people in your life. It comes from within. It comes from your awareness of who you truly are, a limitless, unshakable being connected to the infinite source of all creation. Your thoughts shape your world. If you focus on the storm, you attract more of it. But if you focus on the calm, if you focus on the stillness that lies within you, you begin to create a new reality. You begin to create a reality in which the storm no longer has the power to disturb you. You begin to see that no matter what happens around you, you are always connected to this stillness, this inner peace. When you are in the midst of a storm, the most important thing is not to fight the storm, but to remember who you are. You are the creator of your reality. You are the calm beneath the surface. You are the stillness that cannot be shaken. And when you remember this, the storm becomes insignificant. It may rage on the surface, but beneath it, you remain untouched. As you continue to develop your awareness, you begin to see that the storms in your life are merely opportunities for growth. They are not here to destroy you, but to awaken you to your true nature. The more you align with your inner power, the less affected you will be by the external world. The storm will pass, and you will be left standing firm, stronger than before. But the key to weathering the storm is not to wait for the storm to pass. The key is to recognize that you have the power to change your experience in the midst of the storm. When you shift your thoughts, when you shift your focus, the storm begins to lose its grip on you. You no longer see it as something that is happening to you. You see it as something that is happening for you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your faith in yourself. Every storm is an opportunity to reaffirm your connection to the source of all creation. And when you stand firm in this knowledge, the storm cannot touch you. It may rage on the surface, but you remain grounded in the deep stillness of your soul. You are greater than the storm. You are the calm within the chaos. You are the creator of your reality, and the storm cannot defeat you unless you allow it to. Shift your focus, shift your thoughts, and you will see the storm fade away. You will see the sun shining through the clouds, and you will know that you are always connected to the peace that surpasses all understanding. In the end, the storm is a reminder. It is a reminder of the power that lies within you, a power that is always available to you, no matter what the external world may look like. When you remember who you are, when you remember that you are connected to the source of all creation, the storm will no longer have the power to disturb you. It will pass as all storms do, and you will remain unshaken, at peace, and fully aligned with your true nature. You are bigger than your storms. You are the creator of your reality, and nothing can stand in your way. Trust in this power. Trust in your ability to rise above any challenge, and know that the storm will pass. You will emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the infinite source of peace, love, and power that resides within you. In the midst of your storms, remember that the tempest is not the defining factor in your life. It is only a temporary condition, a fleeting occurrence. What truly defines your experience is the way you respond to the storm. You see, the power is not in the external chaos, but within your own ability to align with the calm that lies within you. The storm can only have as much power over you as you allow it. And in this understanding lies the key to mastering any challenge you face. When you encounter a storm, the world may appear chaotic, unpredictable, and out of control. The wind may blow fiercely, the clouds may darken, and the waves may crash against your boat. But you are not at the mercy of these elements unless you believe that you are. Just as the ocean has an underlying calm beneath the surface, your mind too has a deep reservoir of peace beneath the turbulent thoughts and emotions. This peace, this stillness is your true nature. It is always there, regardless of the external circumstances. The moment you choose to focus on this inner calm, to center yourself in the awareness that you are not at the mercy of the storm, but the creator of your reality, everything changes. The storm may continue to rage, but you no longer perceive it as a threat. It becomes simply a passing moment in time, a temporary disturbance that will soon give way to peace. Your awareness, your ability to remain anchored in this inner stillness, is what determines your experience of the storm. In the same way, the challenges of life are not here to destroy you, but to reveal to you the strength and resilience that lie within you. They are not punishments or tests to prove your worth, but opportunities for growth and awakening. Each storm you face is an invitation to discover the depth of your inner power, to remember that you are not bound by circumstances, but are instead the creator of your experience. Imagine for a moment that you are sailing through life and suddenly a storm begins to form. The skies darken, the winds pick up, and the waves grow larger. It is easy to become frightened in such a moment, to feel as though you are helpless in the face of nature's fury. But now imagine that you are aware of the calm beneath the storm. You know that even though the waves may rise and fall, the ocean itself remains still. Beneath the surface, there is no turbulence, no fear, no chaos. The storm is only on the surface, not in the depths of the water. And so it is with you. Your true self is not shaken by the storms of life. It remains still, untroubled, and serene. The key to weathering any storm is to recognize that the storm is only an external manifestation of internal conflict. When you face a challenge, it is often the result of a belief or thought pattern that is in conflict with the truth of who you are. You may believe that you are powerless in the face of adversity, that the storm is bigger than you, that it has the ability to destroy you. But these beliefs are merely illusions. The truth is that you are the master of your own experience. You are the one who decides how you respond to the storm. The more you align with the calm beneath the storm, the more you begin to see the world around you as a reflection of your inner state. The chaos of life becomes less about what is happening to you and more about what is happening within you. The external world, with all its turbulence, is merely a reflection of your internal thoughts and beliefs. When you change your thoughts, you change your experience. When you shift your perception, the storm begins to dissipate. But even more than that, you begin to see that you are not the victim of your circumstances. You are not at the mercy of the storm. You are the creator of your reality, and through your thoughts and beliefs, you have the power to shift the course of your life. When you realize this, you begin to embrace life's challenges with a sense of purpose, with the knowledge that every storm is an opportunity to strengthen your faith in yourself and in your ability to navigate the waters of life. The key to overcoming any storm, then, is to remember that the storm is not the problem. It is your perception of the storm that creates the struggle. The storm is simply a manifestation of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. When you change your thoughts, you change your experience. When you focus on the calm, on the inner peace that resides within you, the storm loses its power. It becomes just another passing moment in time, no longer able to disturb your peace. This understanding is liberating. It means that you are never truly at the mercy of external circumstances. No matter how fierce the storm may appear, you have the power to choose your response. You have the power to choose your thoughts. You have the power to align yourself with the truth of who you are, a limitless, unshakable being capable of navigating any storm with grace and ease. As you continue to deepen your awareness, you will find that the storms of life become less frequent, less intense. You will begin to recognize the patterns in your own thoughts and beliefs that create these storms. And as you shift your thoughts, as you align with your inner peace, you will begin to experience a calmer, more harmonious reality. The storms will still come. They are a natural part of life, but you will no longer be afraid of them. You will no longer see them as threats to your well-being. You will see them for what they are, temporary disturbances that will soon pass. And as they pass, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to the inner calm that has always been within you. You are bigger than your storms. You are the creator of your reality. And no matter how powerful the storm may seem, it is no match for the infinite power that resides within you. Your thoughts are the architects of your experience, and when you align with the calm within, the storm can no longer disturb your peace. Trust in your ability to navigate the challenges of life with grace, for you are always supported by the deep well of inner strength and peace that lies within you. Every storm you face is an opportunity to strengthen your faith in yourself, to deepen your connection with your true nature. The storm is not here to break you, it is here to awaken you. And when you remember who you are, when you remember that you are the creator of your reality, the storm loses its power. It may still rage around you, but it no longer has the ability to shake your peace. You remain calm, centered, and unshaken, knowing that the storm is temporary, that you are always anchored in the stillness that lies beneath. So when the storm comes, remember that you are greater than it. You are the calm beneath the waves, the peace that cannot be disturbed. You are the creator of your reality, and the storm can only have power over you if you allow it. Shift your thoughts, shift your focus, and watch as the storm loses its grip on you. You are bigger than the storm, and nothing can stand in your way when you align with the infinite power that resides within you. The storm is not the end, it is only a chapter in the journey. And when it passes, you will stand stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with the infinite power that flows through you.